Hi, welcome anyone that's watching tonight. I'm speaking with Andrew Laycock. And I met Andrew a year ago at our Mind, Body, Spirit Fair when we held it in Hamworthy. That was I mean, you probably don't know the story of that actually, Andrew, but I had someone coming over from Japan and someone coming over from Sweden, and Tim were all going to do an event at the Hamworthy because this Poole is not close to me really, but it's not that far either. And so the Hamworthy Club, I'd never been there before, but it just worked out that that seemed to be the most sensible place to hold this event. Anyway, it all got too much because I'd never had to sort flights out for people and all of that. So it was such a big do um, that actually I cancelled that and said, I'd need more time to look at doing a big event like that. But I'd already booked and paid for the Hamworthy Club. So then I said to Kate, May and Colin Flaherty, they're down in Portsmouth, but they do a lot of mind, body, spirit fairs. And I said, oh, would they consider doing something with me for the weekend to and hit Colin's mum lives in Bournemouth, Poole Way, I think. And so they both right up for that. So we did a speaking event on the first day, on the Saturday, and then on the Sunday, because I booked it for the whole weekend, we did the Mind, Body, Spirit Fair. And it was the best Mind, Body, Spirit Fair that because I've run a many with them back before that C word in 2020. And we'd been running quite a lot then, but I'd not run any with them since then. So to go back, and like Kate said, it was like the first ones that we used to run. There was loads of people there. The speakers were brilliant. We were filled for every talk. It really was. So we said, oh, we'll do another one this year. So we haven't overloaded it. We're just going to do the one. Anyway, so at that one, Andrew was opposite. I was at the door seeing people in, and Andrew was on the table almost opposite. And we didn't really get to talk till quite late on, did we?
No,
And then
they were so busy.
oh, it was so busy. It was so wonderful, wasn't it? And I don't know how it happened, but I saw these cards, or you might have shown me these cards. But honestly, I don't know if you can see the shine on them, but every single one. So that is the Fairy of Protection. So I'm going to ask Andrew to explain how he ever come to, want to do decks of cards. The Fairy of Patience. Every single, don't matter where you go in the pack, look at that beautiful one, the Fairy of Manifestation. So do you want to tell us a bit about your cards and how you ever come to want to do packs of cards? And you've written books.
No, I know. And actually, the cards were a distraction from a book that I was writing. And the fairy deck was the second deck I created. The first deck was an animal wisdom deck.
Oh,
And it was just a pure distraction from a mystery book that I was writing, because as well as writing mind, body, spirit books, I also write fiction books, cozy mysteries, under a pen name, not to confuse people. And I was struggling with the plot of this particular mystery book, as I often do. And I work on the kitchen table, and I was looking out of the window, just watching the animals in the garden, and I thought to myself, there's an awful lot that we can learn from observing animals' behaviour. And so then thought to myself, well, that's actually quite a good little book to write a book about animal behaviour and what we can learn about their behaviour in our own lives. So I wrote a book. Um, I think it was about 40 animals I'd actually written guidance for in this book. And then when I was in the editing process, I thought to myself, it really doesn't make sense without having a deck of cards to go with it. And I've worked with the tarot and oracle I was saying to somebody at the weekend, it's 25 years, but actually it's almost 30 years that I've been working with tarot and oracle cards. And I'd never thought to create my own deck because I'm not an artist, I can't draw. But I thought this book really needs a deck of cards to go with it. So, with the power of the internet, where you can connect with people all over the world, I found an artist in Sri Lanka who specializes in oracle art. And so I spoke to her I sent her the book file. I sent her very detailed descriptions of each of the cards. And then she translated those descriptions into the art for the Animal Wisdom deck. I got the deck back, or I got the art back, had the deck created, and then thought, okay, the book doesn't now fit with the deck. So went completely back and changed the book so that it was meanings for each of the cards. And I then had a deck of Animal Wisdom cards and a book and started selling them at shows. And I mean, I got fantastic feedback. I know that sounds as though I'm blowing my own trumpet, but I got
Yeah,
fantastic
do.
feedback
If
for the
it was,
cards.
it was. Yeah.
but but quite a few people were saying to me, I love the cards, but I don't really resonate with animals. You know, animals don't do anything for me, which then made me think that tarot cards and oracle cards are, to me, such a useful tool for guidance. I use them as guidance. I'm back in my corporate life. I've got a background in training and coaching. So to me, the oracle cards are a tool to help with coaching, to help people with their development and their growth, and deal with any issues that they've got. So I thought, okay, what deck can I create that's different from the animals? And I'd got the printing company to send me all of their different card stock so that I could choose the card stock that I wanted. And I remembered within this stock of template cards that I'd got was this very glossy, very sparkly, covered in glittering stars card. And I thought, do you know, it would be perfect to create a fairy deck using that cardstock. And so I then ended up creating the fairy deck, and then last year created the dragon deck.
Oh, you've done a dragon deck.
I've done a dragon deck as well. I've sold out of them, the dragons. They were a a psychic medium did a YouTube video a couple of weeks using my dragon wisdom decks, which was a complete surprise. Didn't expect it. And literally for 6 days afterwards, the orders just came in. So I've ended up running out of the Dragon Wisdom deck. So I've got some more on order now.
Oh no. You think
But
you
yeah,
ever
but they're
make
here.
time? Do
I've
you
got
think you
I've
ever
got a
make
deck.
time for the fair?
Hopefully, hopefully they've got they've promised me the cards by the end of August, so I should have them for Hamworthy. The issue I've got is with the book printer because I have the books printed in the UK, and they're saying they can't do it. They can't get them to me until early September.
Oh,
But I'm going to try and find another book printer who can try and get me some earlier.
oh, I'll let you know of someone. My sister works at a printer's and they're a bit quiet at the minute,
Oh,
which is very unusual for them.
yeah, no, that would be fantastic then, Jackie, because honestly, I don't think I can wait, 4 weeks
Well, if it's
to
all
get the
ready to
books.
go, that'd be worth asking, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So saying about the dragon, I was gifted that one on
I know.
Sunday by Alice. And I said, "Oh, how beautiful is that? It's real got a shine. I don't know if the shine is showing on that, but absolutely." And she said, "Oh, I want you to have it," which was just amazing. Yeah. So, but I didn't realise you did a dragon pack. What I will just show is on a share screen. I'll show you Andrew's website. And yeah, so I didn't realise there's the Fairy Wisdom book, and obviously the cards. Oh yeah, that's it. And I didn't know you'd written that book, 50 Ways to Feel Alive. So you've just explained to me, but if you would like to say why you've done that one.
Yeah, so 50 Ways to Feel Alive was a book I wrote during the first lockdown because it coincided with my 50th birthday and we were supposed to be going away. And I'm an optimist. It was even in April, my birthday was early May, even in April, I was convincing myself that the lockdown would be eased and we would be able to fly out to Gran Canaria, but I couldn't. And I won't say they were disastrous, but I always seem to have issues on milestone birthdays. And so I thought to myself, okay, how can I cheer myself up? And so I wrote the book 50 Ways to Feel Alive, which is just 50 ways to kind of inject some fun into your life. And it includes things like, volunteering, creating a garden, going off on an adventure, doing a 48 hour kind of just disappear for 48 hours and just do something for you. And so anyway, there's 50 ways. You don't have to do all of them. It's not a prescriptive rule that you have to tick everyone off.
Oh,
But it's just
absolutely.
really that.
But lovely ideas, yeah. So it just, oh, I've just pressed shop and it hasn't come up. It's a bit,
Oh, is it not?
no, but it probably would have. I just didn't, I could have done it while we were off of stop share. That might be the thing to do. Oh, lost the page now. Never mind. What would I be looking for there? So if I press it while we're off of stop share, then it will load probably. Yes, it has.
That's it. I've had a very, I seem to have had a very, I don't know, bad run with internet shops and websites. I've managed to create 2 Amazon accounts over the last 2 days.
Really
Yes, there they are. So there's the cards.
beautiful. And the animal wisdom pack, the dragon wisdom, intuitive card reading. Oh, lovely. Intuitive tarot with a live call, Feng Shui analyst. So but you can meet Andrew if you come along too, and I'll share the screen on that as well. I've got that ready, definitely. Says she. There it is. So if I go
I
back,
can't believe it's come round so quickly again. It doesn't feel like almost a year since we were there.
I know, honestly. And this time we've got Melinda Messenger. I'll tell you, because I met her at Knowlton Church. She was there with a few other people I knew. And I don't know how I come to ask her to do this talk, but anyway, she said, oh, I've never given a talk before in person like that, because obviously she does a lot of things, but not an in-person talk. She has actually, I'll come back to that in a minute, but anyway, she's going to be doing counselling for wellness and personal growth, energy therapy, and guiding meditation. So that's all the different things that she's into now, which is going to be fascinating. We've got tarot reading, crystal dew. Oh yeah, all the different, I'll say about the different stalls that we're going to have there. This is the 7th of September at the Hamworthy Club, Poole, and we've got the postcode there, BH21 3AP, just £3 entrance. That gives you access to all the talks. So the first talk's going to be with Colin, who does a talk on trance. And I've seen him in trance. Have you ever seen him in trance, Andrew?
No, not Colin. The thing is, when you're at events,
Oh,
you're
you
behind
can't
the
get
table.
through
You never
there.
get a chance to see anything.
No, no, but he goes to a lot of the spiritual churches. I didn't know if you'd seen him at any of them. But yeah, Kate May, she's just done a whole course on Feng Shui, but also she knows loads about the tarot card. But she's doing a talk on Feng Shui and how it relates with tarot as well. Then we've got Melinda at 12:30. And then Donna Maxine. Do you know Donna Maxine, Andrew?
No, I've only lived in the area for about 2.5 years.
Oh, okay. Well, you'll know Donna after this weekend. I tell you, that girl is just so wonderful. And that's her sister, Carla Manden. We'll do a crystal talk afterwards. So that's going to be interesting as well. Everyone that's talking that day, well, they're all wonderful. Yeah, so that's going to be amazing, just the speakers. But we've got loads of different people. Lorraine Trixie's going to be there with her crystals. Oh, what I'll just say about Donna, she's got a lovely shop in Purewell, Christchurch. In Purewell, Christchurch, it's called White Thyme, but spelt like the herb thyme. and I don't know how to spell that, so I won't say it. Joy Dalton, she's going to be a reader. Emma Greaves is doing aromatherapy. We got Susan, Inner Vision. She sells all different bits. Maisie got crystals. Simon Marsden, energy healing. Leslie Ralph is a reader. John Underwood and his wife, one's Reiki and one's a reader. Lindsay Horsley, she does all the different creams. Anne Thomas, oh, she does a lot more than that. She does house clearing and everything. Anne Thomas, all sorts of stuff, and she's past life regression. But for that, I think she's just going to be selling her goods. I don't think she's doing anything past life regression, although she might be, I don't know. Susan Small is doing encaustic. You know the encaustic art?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she actually, when you've done an encaustic picture, she'll do a reading from it, what it means for you.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. Ashley Oliver, she's really wonderful, lovely girl. Anyway, I won't go through all of them because there's loads, but we have got an awful, do you know, word magic? That's a silly word to say. We've got an awful lot. We've got a wonderful lot of speakers, not an awful lot. Honestly, when I've done a couple of talks with Darren Diogi, and he's talked about word magic, and you don't realise what word spells you're saying on some things.
I know.
You know.
I listened to a lot of your videos when I'm at the gym. It it passes the time quickly. It's amazing. I said it doesn't feel like a year since the last show, but I can go onto the cross trainer at the gym and 20 minutes can feel like a lifetime. And so I listen to a lot of your YouTube videos when I'm at the gym.
Oh, bless you. Have you listened to the one with Darren Diogi?
Yeah, it was a few months ago,
Oh, it
wasn't it?
was. And do you know, I only thought I'm going to get in touch with him again because, yeah, he has, and he's quite open about it. He has depression troubles and that, but when he's right, he's really on form to help others. And like you almost think, does he have to go through that so that he can help others?
Yeah, that's why I always well, I don't always say, but I often say that it's there's a saying. I can't remember exactly what the saying is, but isn't it something about the brightest dawn follows the darkest
Yeah,
night or something? I can't.
yeah.
I might have got that completely wrong.
But it's not far off. I do know that it's that one that you mean, and it does make sense, doesn't it? It
Yeah,
always, and you
absolutely.
can't have day without night because you wouldn't know the
Mm,
difference and
yeah.
all those sort of things. Yeah, so it's very good. So yeah, fascinating. I was so pleased when I started talking to Andrew, and I don't know if someone showed me the cards or I just happened to see them, but honestly, I was so taken with these. I just love anything shiny,
I
anything.
always say they're sprinkled with fairy dust. It's not the technical term for it, but they're sprinkled with fairy dust to give
Honest,
that kind of magical feeling.
yeah. So he'll have those. You've got some of these to sell there.
I've got those. I've got the animal cards. I've got the fairy cards. I should have the dragon card with me. I'm hopeful.
We trust that that you will, yeah.
Absolutely.
And not only
Absolutely.
that, people can take your card and find when you
Yeah.
have got them in stock, if that is for any reason. But you've got that beautiful book that comes with it as well, the
Yeah.
Fairy Wisdom. And that's such a lovely big book that you can read it easily. Some of those in those packs, not to moan about them, but they are quite hard to read, whereas that is
Yeah.
so big.
Yeah, and there was a specific reason I did that, to be honest, because because I work with with the cards myself. To me, I want cards that are easy to shuffle. That you can hold in your hand and shuffle. So I like the standard size cards. But if you're wanting to create a booklet to go with the standard size cards, you end up with the very small, just a few words meaning for each one. So I decided that what I was going to do was create a separate book, almost like a full-sized book
Yeah.
that would just go with the cards, that enables people to to have a look at the detailed meanings for each card. I mean, I would always say you don't need to read the book, because the magic happens when you're connecting with the card. So you don't necessarily need to read the book. But you know, some people can connect with imagery, whereas other people can connect with words. So it covers both bases, really.
Brilliant. I'm going to pull a card then, Andrew, just see what comes out for me.
You always get the one you need to hear.
The fairy of manifestation.
There you go. You attract what you attract what you think.
Wow. I'm going to tell you a story. Two things I'm going to just say quickly. Well, not quickly, but I just thought it was unfair not to say the other people that are going to be at the fair, actually, to say those and then not say everyone else, because I know Joe Hayes will be watching tonight and he's going to be there with his Orinoco table. So I wanted to say Joe will be there. Lisa Salvi with crystals. Esther Sample is going to be essential energies. Sarah Tilbury with Dotora. Tracy Broomfield is a reader. Joe Hayes with Orinoco. Jacqueline Adams is coming all the way from Scotland for this, but she's going to stay with Joe for a few days, which will make it more, you know, worthwhile coming down. And she's a soul reader. Susanna York does aura sprays. You might know this chap, Andrew Laycock. Cards and books. T. Hinkler, got little trinklets. Andrea Webb. Even though I'm saying crystals a lot, it's different people are doing. So one person's doing specific necklaces of crystals and, you know, different things of crystals. It's not that everyone's doing the same sort of crystals. Andrea Webb's with her crystals. Elizabeth Tomset making handmade creative things. Jeremy Jones is going to be there with Grander Water, all about the water system that you can have, but there's other things you can have in the house. Sarah Townsend, massage. Ian and Juliana with their artwork. Simon Martin is the crystal necklaces. Kate May will be doing readings, but also talking about her Feng Shui, or if you wanted to know for your house for Feng Shui. Colin, who I'm running it with as well, Colin Flaherty and Kate May. So he does readings, but where we're running it, we don't have a lot of time to do much of our own. I'm actually going to have a table there with my art on it, but Claire's going to run that for me, and she'll have some trinket bits of her own. Donna Maxine, she'll have all sorts from her shop that she's got in Purewell. And Ziggy, lovely Ziggy, he's got like he does crayon art for your energy. So as you're stood in front of him, he'll do whatever comes to his mind that picks up from your energy. Lovely guy he is. So I thought, yeah, better just say that. But the other thing I was just going to say is we had this event with Tim Wilde and Alice Heath on Sunday in the New Forest. And there was a girl, where you said about being in the gym and listening to my YouTube channel. When I occasionally do the online Zoom events, I had one with Lyra Luxford recently, past life regression. And what a small world. One of the ladies that was there, she spends half the time in Australia and half the time here. I've met her before, Ruth, lovely woman. And so she was there, and she said she was in Australia listening to this. She bought the online Zoom thing about past life regression and was listening. She said, when I come home, if that lady lives near me, I'm going to get a reading with her. And when she came home, she looked it up, and Lyra was a 5-minute drive from her house in Blandford, that sort of area. It's not exactly Blandford, but 5 minutes. So she had the most amazing reading with her. I said, well, can you believe then, Ruth, that I'm actually sat next to Lyra's son here today? You know, like the synchronicities of how we all...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
it's just it's just incredible, because I always say, well, as you know, synchronicity around, the fact that there's no such thing as a random
No,
occurrence. Everything is linked and everything is meant to happen.
it absolutely is. So I was meant to come over and speak to you about your cards.
Yes,
And I'm so
absolutely.
pleased I did. And then, yeah, you thought that someone else was gonna, that you might not be able to make it this time. And you were true and honest to your word. You were going to go to
Yeah.
that, but never heard any more about it. So you're coming to us again, which is
Yeah,
amazing.
absolutely. Which again is meant to be. It's meant to happen. Because he
Absolutely.
was, I mean, he was such. I'm not saying this because I'm talking to you, but it was such a fantastic event
Oh, brilliant.
last year.
Loved it. Absolutely loved it. It was so thriving, wasn't it? Really
Yeah,
wonderful.
absolutely.
Um, can you just say a bit about the Fairy Festival? How did you find that the weekend?
That was amazing, absolutely amazing. So I was at the New Forest Fairy Festival over the weekend. It was so busy, so incredible, and I just think the effort that people go to when they're attending that festival, it was just wonderful to see people being their true, authentic selves. Um, I had some absolutely amazing conversations with people, and I think it's I guess I do this for the love of doing it, although I do need to make a living, and need to keep reminding myself that I need to make a living. But
Hey, we
to
all do.
me, the pleasure that I get from it is actually talking to people, and it's almost like selling a book or selling the cards is a bonus. But I was talking to somebody, I think it was on the Saturday, and I said, and she was agreeing with me because we were having this conversation. I was saying, I think when you're doing what you're meant to be doing, life opens up for you, doors open up for you, and you just need to trust that you can continue to do it. And I honestly haven't looked back. I mean, I had a 30 more than 30-year career in HR, which never. I mean, it was I did quite well at it somehow, but I always had that imposter syndrome because I just didn't fit into that world. And then gradually what was a hobby turned into a career. And I just love life now. It's just absolutely
Wonderful.
amazing.
Love that. Love that. But you had to go through that 30 years because it will help what you're doing now.
So absolutely. I mean, it gave me the grounding in training and coaching, which is what I kind of that was my career. And so now when I approach tarot readings, I approach it from a coaching perspective.
Yes,
The cards I use as coaching tools. So it's all of that was meant to happen in that way to enable me to do what I do now.
perfect. Well, I think, when you come for a reading with anyone, I honestly feel that you not only want connection, sometimes you want connection for loved ones, just reassurance, or quite often a bit of guidance in your own life. And
Yeah.
so with the coaching as well, you'd know how to, it would work perfectly with the cards.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I always say to people, when I'm doing a reading, what I will always say to people is, you know, take this information as guidance. It's not something that you have to do or that's going to happen to you. You have free will. You can choose whether you're going to listen to what the cards are saying or whether you're going to ignore them. And the reality is that it's the cards are not giving you anything that you don't already know. It's just hidden so deep within your subconsciousness that you need to transfer that thought onto something completely different to be able to bring it to the front. And sometimes when you're bringing that to the front, you're still wanting to dismiss it because you don't want to listen to what the universe, the cards, yourself is telling you, and that's entirely up to you. It's not set in. It's the way I use the cards is not set in stone. It's guidance that you can follow or you can choose to ignore.
We just want a bit of encouragement, a bit of motivation sometimes,
Yeah,
don't we? If we're stuck. So yeah, it just gives you another option, perhaps.
Yeah, absolutely. I always say it gives a third perspective. As you know, I say sometimes you're so immersed in the situation or the problem yourself that you can't
Yeah,
see the wood for the trees. You just,
yes,
it's almost, it kind of reminds me of when you were a child and you did something and your mum said, "Why did you do that?" And just keeps repeating, "Why did you do that? Why did you do that?" And the more she asked you, the less you actually knew why you'd done it.
yeah,
And or you can ask a friend or a family member, but even though they are trying to give you the information from your perspective, they're really coming at it from their perspective.
absolutely.
So to transfer that onto an image, then you're starting to talk through what that image means to you, and you're just getting a third perspective. And that's all, to me, and people use tarot cards and oracle cards in lots of different ways. A psychic medium will use it in completely different way to me, but how I use it is purely for guidance.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for tonight, Andrew. I just thought it's a little, for people to know, I've got loads of cards and I love all my cards. I just absolutely do. But there's just something about this particular pack that I just absolutely, the shininess.
And it's lovely to hear you say that, actually, because they were created to kind of give that magic, for
Yeah,
people
that's exactly it.
to
Magic.
look at them and kind of, be almost taken away from the day to day and feel enchanted almost.
Yeah, yeah, which you do. Look at that. They are stunning.
Camera,
So yeah,
the camera just doesn't pick up the
no,
sparkle. That is
no,
because it reflects back. You
yeah.
have to see them in real life.
Oh yes, so we'll see you all on the 7th of
Yeah,
September at Hamworthy, Poole.
yeah. There'll
Thank
be
you,
lots of
Andrew.
cards for people to look at.
Brilliant. Okay, lovely speaking with you, and I'll see you. If I
You,
don't see you before, I'll see you in September.
yeah, I think it's 4 weeks' time.
It is, yeah, it is. Lovely. Okay, thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Jackie. Bye.
Thanks, anyone watching.